Esto es Análisis BIVA Sostenible.
Hola a todos, soy Santiago Salinas, director de Relaciones Institucionales y Gobierno en Viva. Me da mucho gusto darles la bienvenida a este nuevo episodio de la quinta temporada de Análisis BIVA Sostenible, el punto de encuentro entre la inversión y la transformación, donde hablamos de cómo la sostenibilidad está redefiniendo el mercado de valores y generando nuevas oportunidades. El día de hoy nos acompaña Carmen-Daniela Micu, Chair of the Board IASE Global. Carmen es ejecutiva senior con más de 25 años de experiencia en estrategia y desarrollo de portafolios de negocio en cargos tanto regionales como globales. Ha trabajado en una amplia gama de industrias, desde bienes de consumo hasta farmacéutica, medios y publicidad. Ella es CEO de Envicia y profesora senior de Estrategia y Evaluación de Consejos en el programa Effective Board Director, además de dirigir el capítulo de Envicia Board Design Profiling. Actualmente, Carmen es presidenta del Consejo de la International Association for Sustainable Economy, una organización global que lidera el establecimiento de estándares de certificación en educación para la sostenibilidad. Now, I'm going to switch to English to begin the conversation with our guest. Carmen, welcome and thank you very much to be joining us in this Análisis BIVA Sostenible podcast.
Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm honored and really happy to have this dialogue together.
Amazing. And also welcome to Mexico. I just want to start to talk about that in a world that is changing faster than ever, sustainability has become a key priority for governments, organizations, and business leaders. So working toward a more responsible and resilient model, that means that understanding not only global trends, but also the risks and challenges that come with them. So I want to start our conversation, Carmen, about global sustainability trends. So when you look at how global frameworks are evolving and changing from the UN SDGs to the EU Green Deal, which emerging trends do you believe actually that impact the strongest in Latin American and Mexico issuers in the next, I'll say, 3 to 5 years?
When I'm looking at sustainability trends, I'm thinking about the future. And if you want to talk about the future, I would like to make a couple of comments before entering into the trends discussion. First of all, for us, the question is there a future for the sustainability concept overall? Especially now, as you mentioned, there are a lot of challenges in terms of geopolitics, in terms of having the whitewashing, the greenwashing, the data washing, and all the washing, so that the credibility is going really down the drain. Yeah. And the question I wouldn't like to be rhetorical, is really a future for the sustainability concept overall. What we see, first of all, as a big trend is that it becomes a mainstream concern. It's not anymore about a rhetorical question, about a peripheral concern. It's not about non-financial reporting to comply. It's not about ticking the boxes anymore. It's a real concern in terms of long-term strategy. So that's one important trend, which we see within the corporate governance, especially in the emerging markets, such as ours and yours as well. And I see a lot of similarities between Latin America, Mexico, obviously, and Central and Eastern European markets. And from the fact that I'm benefiting from a strong partnership with the local stock exchange, and I'm analyzing constantly also you've heard probably about the Federation of Eurasian Stock Exchanges, with whom I'm working closely. So there are a lot of trends which are similar. And what's happening is, first of all, moving from compliance to real world strategic moves, and then look for implementation. Another trend is looking at environment and biodiversity, which is becoming a real interest. It was not so far in the eyes of these kind of countries and regions, but now it's coming even stronger. Yeah. And what I would say also, last but not least, I'm looking at the formation of partnerships that look for solid input with knowledge and know-how in terms of building action plans towards sustainability. I would also like to add a little bit of information around value creation. When we talk about the stock exchanges, we look at the value creation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's why we go to be listed. We want to be listed. It's a finance, of course, it's a finance decision, but we look at value creation.
But not only a finance decision, because most of companies or business leaders, when I talk with them, they think it's only a finance decision, and it's not. It's a corporate governance decision. It's a seeing and watching to the future to make a company transcend people. So it's not just a final decision, as you mentioned.
Yes, you're so right. I would make a comment here. I do not want to diverge from the initial question.
Don't worry.
But I think another similarity between our markets is the fact that we are there in the position of the succession planning.
Exactly.
Let's say age of our entrepreneurial environment overall. And what's happening actually with the stock exchange and with having good governance. The good governance means a tool to control and succession planning for entrepreneurs. So when you think about an IPO, you want to get listed, or even if you go to secondary markets, it's the same idea. You want to finance your endeavor and to support it, you need good governance. Good governance means structure, means boards, means everything that we do here together. So yes, it's important. We are exactly on the best timing to talk about that. And succession means also being sustainable. Yeah. So that's I'm fully aligned with what you're saying there. Yes. Going back to the trends, and talking about one comment, talking about nature and taking care of that. Of course, the decarbonization and computing carbon footprint to everything that we do. It's a big trend. It's a big challenge. I'm also lucky to have a lot of partnership around AI, using AI to calculate the carbon footprint. But many times when I'm talking to entrepreneurs, for example, they look at it as a gimmick, as a digital gimmick, and even if it's something which is very solid and hard facts oriented, and it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't have the momentum yet there. So I'm curious to see it within the next few years what's happening with it.
Well, we will love it to evolve and work here in Viva. No, Mexico is an emerging market, but Viva, we have been working with a lot of entrepreneurs, with a lot of endeavors, but also a lot of family-owned companies as in different emerging markets does. So yeah, I love how you said that sustainability also makes a succession plan. So it's also that sustainability part of it. Because
it's long-term strategy.
Exactly.
So we need, when you think about succession planning, you think long-term existence of your company, of your group, of, whatever.
Yeah, I love it. Now, let's talk about risk and credibility challenges, right? What do you think? What internal barriers can be cultural, governance related, or market driven prevent companies from internalizing sustainability into their core business rather than only treating it as a regulatory exercise or only a communication exercise?
In my opinion, it's only credibility. And credibility has a lot of negative waves, so to say, perpetuating a mindset that says, why should I do that? Because it's not helping, it's not worth it, it's not delivering any value to me. So that's why I said before, greenwashing, whitewashing, data washing, this is the phenomenon behind, and all of them have in common credibility. The credibility is lost now, or it looks majority as being lost. Let's not talk in absolute terms. It's never say never. So we actually now look at the greenwashing 2.0. We have a lot of European mainly driven reporting systems, and the feeling of the majority of the companies is that they do it because it looks good in stock exchange reporting, but in the end of the day, it doesn't deliver any kind of impact, neither in the company nor in the communities the company is actually acting. The second thing, it's this marketing that surrounds it, which also has a feeling to it that it's only for the image, again, not delivering the results. We know, I just wanted to quote a little bit, the European Commission found that 53% of the green claims in 2023 were misleading or unverified. So you can imagine the power of the image that they build, but it's nothing there, of course. The second thing is the whitewashing social impact, which I believe is maybe the most sensitive one to which I'm sensitive more. And I think the transition plan may tout decarbonization without addressing how communities actually or workers will be affected about that. I think also the human rights risk in global supply chain, because we talk so much about, fast fashion and any kind of other fast food and so on, that uses workforce. It's not something that is sustainable, is not really yet addressed properly. And again, it goes into a washing that is window dressing.
Yes.
I was looking for the term. The correct term is window dressing. I would want to point out just one thing regarding diversity, which also falls into category of whitewashing. diversity, because of the whole political arena now, it's sometimes perceived as being a mockery, between being a mockery and being a real solid issue to talk about. And people are really split around the world. We cannot deny the fact that we have many wars all over the world. And, in Eastern Europe, we know that we live through it. And it's not only Eastern Europe. And people start to think, when war is at my door, what is the most important thing? It's my survival, it's my family survival, it's my community. Should I care about everybody else or anybody else? So my perspective on that one is we shouldn't forget that even if we are in a small part of the world, regardless where we are, a country or a region, we should not forget that we are citizens of a big planetary village.
Yeah.
And everything that we do affects us, all of us.
Of course.
So we should take care. That's my, my personal perspective.
No, of course, makes sense, Carmen. So I want to go a little bit deep on that topic, right? Like in your work that you're training and certifying ESG professionals, how do you assess the risk actually of greenwashing or whitewashing or any kind of washing? Let me say that way. Because of course, in reports, they look impressive, right? On paper, they look incredible. But when you have to translate into real impact, sometimes it doesn't make sense what they're reporting to the real impact that they're making, right? So what red flag signals should maybe institutional investors watch for when they are evaluating this credibility or this report in different issuers around the globe?
I would mention from our perspective, there are 4 points they should look for. One is to evaluate the claims. The eco-friendly claims, whatever other claims that they are doing, they should be at least from 2 different sources, verified, if not more. Second, it's selective disclosure. They have many of them talking about the marketing of the greenwashing or whitewashing. They have glossy narratives, very glamorous. But there are no KPIs attached to it, and that's very important. We should look for the KPIs and for the solidity and the validity of the KPIs. There is no external assurance or misalignment between the sustainability targets and the capital allocation. And that's, in my opinion, also it's a very dangerous thing. And last one is rating inconsistencies. Some companies rank top 10% and bottom 20% by different agencies look at different things. So I think it's what we should introduce is actually more structure when we are looking to evaluate the risks and attach definitely KPIs to it.
So KPIs. Always. Let's see the KPIs and how basically companies work through it and reporting, because you want to see the reporting and basically what they're doing to achieve those goals, those KPIs. Great.
Maybe just one, in a nutshell, we look for ISSB aligned reporting, science-based targets, and third-party verification.
Of course.
About validity of the KPIs.
Of course, yeah. Because as sometimes we said in Mexico, when my mom is talking about me, she will always say, I'm the most handsome man and I'm incredible. But you need a third-party validation. You say, okay, no, let's be objective. So for sure, third party, also validation, SPOs, or other kind of validation from a more objective party. It's basically one basic thing we need to have more confidence about what kind of KPIs or what kind of work we are doing, right? So that makes sense. Carmen, let's talk now about governance and innovation and standards, right? As someone leading a sustainability certification organization as you do, a global one, how do you see governance standards evolving? Think board composition, sustainability committees, ESG-linked incentives. I don't know, maybe in Europe versus Latin America, right? Which best practice do you think could be meaningful being adopted here in Mexico?
I would go, first of all, our regions, because they are, again, emerging markets, more or less very similar in trends and in the way they act. And Western Europe, which is a little bit different. UK, which is a different thing as well. And not even looking the direction of US, which has a different type of governance importance. To straight answer to your question is governance.
Yeah.
What does this mean? We need to have a sustainability committee.
Yeah.
Alongside how we have, nomination committee, audit committee, remuneration committee, risk committee. Now we should have a sustainability committee with the board directors committee to contribute to it, which should establish the strategic directions and most important thing, again, assign KPIs to these sustainability objectives. Yeah. And then when you have these two together, you have to link the pay to the KPIs. Yeah, the pay of the non-executive board directors or all the board directors.
That's interesting because actually you're aligning interest.
Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So linking the executive, non-executive payment to it. Of course, there is a big difference in the KPIs that the non-executive has. Yeah. Compared to non-executive. Exactly. Of course, the executive, because it has the power to move the pieces on the chess table, on the chessboard, the KPIs are different, and the power of those KPIs linked to the pay is different. But also the non-executives that are, for example, in the board and in the committee, they should also have specific KPIs linked to that one, because otherwise there is no incentive to move finally the pieces on the table, on the chessboard, and make it happen. The biggest concern, going back to the washings, is how you make things happen, how you have a real impact and measure that impact finally.
Basically, skin in the game.
Exactly, skin in the game.
It makes sense.
So I would say formalize the committee. I would say formalize the link between, having the KPIs and the link between the pay of the executives and the non-executives, hopefully, to the KPIs.
Amazing. Yeah.
Just as I mentioned, many times I didn't even mention the reporting.
Yeah.
For me, the reporting is, self-explanatory, included already. This should be there no matter what.
Yeah. I get it. So, Carmen, these topics and different key points can make us being talking all day around about it and basically discussing and going deeper into it. Sadly, we only have limited time in this podcast, so I will just want you to have an open time right now. If you want to have some comment, idea, key point that you would love to share with our audience, this will be the right time. So please feel free to give us your conclusion, ideas, any comment that you have.
I would like to add one point which we didn't touch now, which is the impact of artificial intelligence. It's for us, it's a paradox because artificial intelligence introduces the efficiency, introduces the I'm talking coming from the governance side, So transparency, efficiency, it's restructuring the same time of the way executive works, non-executive works. The question is in the same time that it uses a lot of resources and the carbon footprint of the usage of the AI, it's huge. Well, this is a paradox. It helps and it doesn't help in the same time us towards our sustainable goal.
There was a case basically that I will not say the brand, but artificial intelligence chatbot that everyone was asking some questions, and in the end they were saying thank you very much. And just by saying thank you very much,
it uses a lot of resources.
It uses a lot of water and resources. So this company was saying, please don't thank the machine, right? So that's basically what we were saying right now.
Yeah, so it's both a catalyst and a challenge.
Yeah.
And we end up just by saying there are three types of impact that we should look and take care of. One is obviously the environment, is the carbon footprint. The second one is the social impact, which means we have more efficiencies, more restructuring, of course, less people in being involved. So what do you do with the people that are exiting the workforce because of these improvements? And we need to take into account. This means that the governance frameworks that are going to be developed in the future have to think about that. And here I would introduce something which I like very much. I'm really a fan of it, which is called benefit corporation concept. It's already well spread since 2016 when it was initiated in Italy. Now it's well spread in Italy, France, Spain, Canada, 39 states of US. Colombia, Uruguay. So please join the big team. This is a concept that is a for-profit entity. It's a legal framework, governance framework, which is for profit oriented, but it has a mandatory obligation, if I can say that, to take care of the impact of the social and environmental impact. So it has to deliver not only profit, but also community positive impact. So I will look into those innovative governance frameworks. And last but not least, of course, we have the governance risks that we have to look into it. Nothing is resolved yet, but what I would recommend, and there is also a solution here, is the governance ISO standards, 37,000, and now under development 37,011, which really looks into purpose-driven organizations. So yes, I would, encourage you to read about it and spread it around. I think it's a good idea to have it as a governance code, as points in your governance code, as a stock exchange, as a recommendation to the companies that are going to be listed or, already listed.
Of course, Carmen. Count on it. We as Viva have different programs, different allies as you. And of course, this is our main objective. We want to be the leading Latin America stock exchange that basically are driven in ESG topics, basically make happen not only on paper, but in reality, and basically be the hub of ESG financing in Latin America. So Carmen, it is amazing to have you right now with us. Again, enjoy Mexico. I know you have a long trip tonight. So hope you to have next time more of your expertise and your ideas with us. Basically, thank you very much again.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Gracias a todos por habernos acompañado en Análisis Viva. Ella es Carmen-Daniela Micu, Chair of the Board en IASE Global. Y a todos ustedes, muchas gracias por habernos acompañado en este nuevo episodio. Los invitamos a seguirnos en todas nuestras redes sociales. Y si el episodio fue de su agrado, dejen una reseña o un like en cualquiera de nuestras plataformas. Si están viendo este podcast a través de YouTube, no olviden suscribirse a nuestro canal para recibir notificaciones de las próximas publicaciones. La producción de este podcast estuvo a cargo de Rogelio Unzueta. Agradecemos también a nuestros ingenieros de audio y video, Héctor García y Omar Vieira. Yo soy Santiago Salinas, director de Relaciones Institucionales y Gobierno aquí en Viva.
La Bolsa Institucional de Valores presentó Análisis BIVA Sostenible. Suscríbete a nuestro podcast y síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.